Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm still Eric McElroy.
Were you likely to change that?
Still. I mean, it could happen. I have branded myself otherwise over the years. I think I've told you this before. The news flash to everyone out there. I was married before in the US. Oh yeah, playa. And this was before woke was a thing. It was in the early 90s. We got married, or mid 90s, and we both hyphenated our names.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
does it breach GDPR
yeah.
to tell us what the other name was? Because it's always nice to know how awkward these words fit together.
Drews, Drews.
Drews McElroy or McElroy Drews?
What would you go with?
Well, actually, I think the rule should be that each partner puts their own surname last, so you should have differently hyphenated ones.
That makes it even worse.
Jesus. Yeah. I think you go Drews McElroy.
We did. And
it flows terribly, but yeah.
I think my favorite moment of doing that, because I was a pretty hip woke dude before woke was a thing, was I was the only grandson, so I was the namesake of the McElroy line, and telling my grandparents that I had changed my name. I mean, the look on my grandmother's face. Yeah.
What does she care for? It's not even her real name.
Was her name though, because she was old school, so she was a McElroy.
But only after marriage,
taking on the McElroy.
Yeah,
but I do have to say,
McElroy.
The thing that did give me is that sense of when the divorce came through. So in the U.S., your key identifiers are your social security number, driver's license, and if you're so inclined, a passport. I got the divorce paperwork at noon. By 4 p.m. that day, my name had been legally changed on every possible document I could get my hands on. I was ready to get my name changed back. Man, oh man, it was. Whoo-hoo.
But by having it changed back, does that mean that you're not really a real McElroy? Like, you started out as a real McElroy, but your surname is the product of a legal change.
I think Coke is still Coke, even though there was New Coke for a while.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think you've plastered it.
I'm a faux McElroy.
Yeah. I think the solution to the surname issue in marriage, it can never be hyphenation. Because the problem is, if you extrapolate that forwards, like one generation, two people meet with different surnames, and you don't want to give specialism to, who's more important, so you hyphenate. But then two hyphenated people meet and marry. If you then hyphenate, you'd get 4 surnames. Yeah. And 10 generations later, I think this is 2 to the power of n plus 1, which means you're up to like 1,028 surnames. That's more space in the name part of a form than the rest of the form. So it's a fool's errand.
Well, it's with the current wife, my wife. She knows I say that. She kept her surname because she's a feminist, and but I won on the Battle of the Children. They have my name.
Yeah, that's a good compromise. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's a great compromise.
You're a family unit, and she's just not in it. Nice. Okay.
Well, she takes the children overseas. She needs a letter of permission from me.
All right, Middle East. You're really bringing some of those vibes, aren't you?
That is Britain in 2023, my friend.
Eric Saudi McElroy. Yeah. Who'd have thought?
She hasn't tried it yet, because I haven't given her permission to. But
is she allowed to drive?
She's not allowed to watch the show.
Oh, that's fair enough. She's not missing.
But yes. So that was not done. So I'm still Eric McElroy, or I'm Eric McElroy again. I'm the born again McElroy.
Wow, 6 minutes in, and we've introduced you. We're not going to struggle to hit the time this week.
Yeah, and I should be able to keep the time because of my new watch.
Ooh, there's nothing on it though. It seems to be broken.
But it's just because it's gone to sleep.
Oh.
It's awake now. But if you don't like that face, don't worry. There's another one. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's another one. Oh, look at, there you go. I got an Apple Watch.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you use it for?
Well, what's cool, this I figured that this you can start your camera remotely. So if I'm filming my set with my iPhone, I can press the button here and start it remotely. And I figured out I can record on my camera, on my phone, on the camera on the phone, and I can also do the audio recording on the smartphone as well. So then I've got dual track.
No, and does it store them separately? Do you left-right channel?
Yeah.
Or does it merge into one channel?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, well, it records the sound on the recording app, and then it got the video and the sound from
so
the camera app.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I did that with.
So that's pretty cool.
I bought one of those clip mics, so I can record me in one channel. The phone records the ambient stuff, which is the one that every so often you crank up to make it seem like there's bigger laughs. So that's my top tip. Not that I've released many stand-up videos, but whenever I get around to doing it, you can do it that way.
So look at that. We're 6 minutes in, but we've solved 2 problems. Yeah. The patriarchy and naming people, and or matriarchy, whichever one you want to prioritize, and technology. So I haven't figured out it.
I've got the,
it's
got the.
Is that a smartwatch?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah. Just don't go on about it. The best thing that I've worked out about this is that my son can use it better than I can. In that, if you because he just likes swiping it because it all moves, and then the next thing my phone starts going off. I'm like, what the hell now? And it's him calling the phone from my watch. I'm like, how have you? So I'm not quite sure how you do that, but he could do it really well.
My son got his hand on the watch for about 5 minutes and downloaded 8 games. So what are you doing? Just one more. Just one more. Just one more. It's like, oh god. Oh my god. I can't figure out how to delete them yet.
Cool.
But it's supposed to do Siri when you raise it to your mouth, but I can't get the flick right because it takes a.
Can you reprogram it so it thinks you? There you go. Can you reprogram it so it thinks you're talking to Kit from Knight Rider? Because that
would be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an old reference.
Yeah, but that would be hell. Kit, dial me a something or other. That's set me an alarm.
There we go.
That's the only thing anyone ever uses these voice things for. Set me. What's the weather like, Kit?
Look, we have a purpose with this show to solve problems. Otherwise, we're turning into one of those comedy podcasts where they just chat shit. Although that seems to do well, so maybe we should try that. Anyway, there's good news from America, Steve.
Is there?
Yes, and I'm hoping this is going to be a regular segment. If it was the olden days, we'd have a flashing thing come up right now. But it looks like this week Donald Trump is going to get indicted again.
Again? How many times can a man be indicted?
I don't know. I mean, he's just so selfish. He just wants all the indictments to himself, and he's going to get them. So he was already indicted in the hush money case with Stormy Daniels, where he had his lawyer write a check to Stormy Daniels, the porn star, for covering up a affair that he allegedly had when his son was only 3 months old, Donald Trump's son. And
don't blame the son. I don't know why you're bringing the son into this. It's not his fault.
I'm just bringing it up because it just shows how scummy Donald Trump is. I mean, you wait until your child is 6 months before you sleep with the porn star. That's the rule. Yeah. That's what we learned in my family, the Drews McElroy family. But the thing is, he didn't get indicted for the hush money payment because that's legal in America, which is what makes America such a great country. What he got in trouble for was the fact that his lawyer wrote a check, which is a campaign finance violation at the time. So the key thing is, if you're going to pay off a porn star because you're having an affair with her while your son is only 3 months old, cash.
Yeah.
Very important. So that's that indictment. That's what I use. Yeah, that's that indictment. Then after that, he was found guilty in a civil trial for sexual assault and fined $5 million in defamation. And then this week, we're looking at indictment for obstruction of justice. And if we're lucky, I mean, please, from my lips to God's ears, it'll be an indictment for seditious conspiracy against the United States for January 6th riots. But right now, it looks like obstruction of justice, and the charges are they're just right around the corner.
I mean, it's delightful, isn't it? The weird thing about your former nation is that even if he's found guilty, it doesn't stop him becoming president.
That's correct. Yeah, he could be. We've had presidents run from jail before, and with his current base for Trump, it's a selling point. One Republican congressman actually said that all of these indictments actually make Trump a more credible candidate.
Fair enough. I mean, it's got the vibe of that, like the kingpin who still runs the business from inside prison. Like his running mate needs to be Red from Shawshank. That's the only way this could actually happen. He needs to know someone who can get stuff for him.
Don't bring Morgan Freeman into this.
Yeah. Oh, if I'd have given myself 3 days, I could relearn the impression again. But I always lose it.
You've retired it. I mean, it's an incredible state of affairs. And the thing is, it does make him more popular because there's so many Republicans running now that it could be the same way that he won in 2016 or 2015 when he won the primary, is that because it's winner take all for the primaries in each state. So if he wins 30% of the vote, and then all the others divide up the rest of the percentages into whatever all of them add up to. No one knows how much percentages add up to. Yeah. He could still win the whole state by 30%. It's winner take all. He wins the whole state, and off he goes by never winning the majority of any of the primaries because America is the greatest democracy in the world.
Great
and that's the way the system works.
Yeah.
So he could be running from jail, only be a minority candidate, and have multiple indictments. And I would imagine we'll be living in Russia by the time this is all over.
I mean, I'm all up for it. That's what I'm here for. It's not my country, so I don't care. And it's just nice to have someone that it's easier to write jokes about, because all you've really got with Biden is age jokes, and eventually you start to feel bad. But it's not like he's getting any younger. So, you know, in part, he has to take some responsibility for, like, whenever he falls over, you can't deny that he fell over. The man fell upstairs.
He didn't fall over. He just decided to rapidly sit down on the ground.
Yeah. Interesting position. Yeah, I mean, the clip, which is old now, but they keep using it, of him falling upstairs 3 times.
Yeah,
it's impressive. Well, it's impressive because it's upstairs, because in general things fall. Like, if Sir Isaac Newton was still around, he'd have been like, wait a minute, before I publish this theory, I need to look at that again. But also the fact that he did it 3 times. It keeps trying, keeps falling. I mean, there's a Rocky Balboa message there somewhere, but no one ever says it that way. They always imagine, they quote Rocky. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and get up again. Like, no, it's not about how, one of those, who knows? I've been hit quite a lot. No one ever says the Biden way. It's not about how often you fall upstairs. It's how often you can get up and fall upstairs again and then keep doing it and look really stupid.
Well, he might be falling up the stairs because the Lord is calling him up to heaven.
You see what I mean? The only good Biden joke is an age joke. We all feel bad for it, but it's just true, isn't it? That's just the way it is.
He's old.
It's not like Donald Trump's that much younger. So
no.
Yeah.
Even Donald Trump declined to make fun of Biden for falling down because Trump knows he is so close to falling down himself.
Yeah. He's top heavy.
The good thing is he's wearing Pampers, so he'll just bounce back up.
That's what my little lad does. It's great. He falls over, you think, oh, it's going to be a cry, and he just takes in his stride. Such padding in there.
Well, you guys are using reusable nappies, aren't those? Are super padded, aren't they?
No,
are you using disposable? Or were you using? I thought you were.
Yeah, we were meant to be using reusable because of the wokeness. And
Did you stop?
I didn't even start. I was having none of that. I've saved the planet enough, Eric. I recycle.
I think when we came around for your birthday, he was wearing reusable nappies, I think. No. So you just put them on that day just to make it look like you. And then as soon as we left, you threw that away and put him in.
I burned the reusable nappy. Yeah, I'm buying reusable. I don't have to reuse them, do I? Meet me halfway, Greta. I'm buying reusable stuff, but I'm only using it once. So surely we can all say that's a good compromise.
That is a good compromise. Well done. Problem solved.
Yeah, another problem solved. Tick. Some more problems, if you want to get into these. There's, well, let's do this one first. The front page of, well, this is the story when I found it online, but front page of, I think it's the Times, talks about inflation. UK to have the highest inflation in the advanced world this year. We are world beating. It was promised that we'd be world beating, and we are flipping world beating. And it says in terms of, what's the actual way they phrase it, in the advanced world. So actually, this story, yet again, is quite a positive one. It's nice to know that we are still considered to be in the advanced world, because I don't know what happens and when relegation season happens, but it feels like we're at risk this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had a great run, but no one stays at the top forever. And at some point, we're probably going to get moved down to whatever's below, the second world, communism, one of those. Yeah. And so it's good that we've got this inflation. There's two things with inflation. There's the inflation side of it, and then there's shrinkflation. Have you noticed any shrinkflation, Eric?
No.
Personal question. But so there's loads of things that apparently the price stays the same, but the item is getting smaller.
Oh,
yeah. They call it shrinkflation. Yes. And bags of, there was tea was one of them, so you get fewer tea bags in it. Toilet rolls, they were mentioned a few weeks ago in terms of shrinkflation.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fewer sheets per roll or just slightly smaller squares. Because that's some shrinkflation that I think I'd be okay with. There's about a centimetre border on that I never get anywhere near. So
that's a... I'm glad to hear that.
You could get rid of that border and save a tree. Just risk it. No one ever talks about this as well, but like men and women are different, and I don't know if this is just my experience, but sweet goddamn, women get through a lot of toilet roll, stunning amounts. And it's not just the fact that they also use a little bit around. It can't be that, because in all the relationships I've ever had, I've noticed that, hey, look, I'm a good partner. I change the toilet roll. If it's running low, I change so I swap over the toilet roll, and I'll go about my day, and I'll do a few things. And then later on, maybe I eat some food. It probably happens. And then maybe I go to the toilet, and it's nearly empty again. How on earth? What is she doing? She's just in there, just pulling it down like she's a cat on a video. So I don't really know what women do with this tissue, but that's an eco problem that no one seems to talk about. And it doesn't make any sense because women are in there for about 3 seconds as well. That's the other thing that no one really seems to address in modern day society. When women go to the toilet, they're like, in, out. I'm like, I get my smartwatch on it. How did you even do anything? Yeah. I need half an hour. And at the end of it, I've used 9 sheets. That's a good ratio, Eric.
I bet you do count.
Why would you not?
Maybe they're filling their pants with the toilet roll as they leave the toilet, and they, and then they're just changing toilet roll. That's why it's so quick. Maybe.
But it does make me think, I use less toilet roll than my partners, therefore I should change it less. They should do more changing. And whenever they say, oh, I feel like I'm changing. Yes, because you use it all.
But what you're doing is an act of service.
Yeah, that's not my love language. No one ever asks that, do they? People go, my love language is acts of service. Like, well, mine's not, so why do I have to do the thing? No one's... My love language is not changing your bog roll. That's not love. Is it? I don't know.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And I've thought about this a lot because, I'm in there for half an hour. I've got nothing else to do. What do we get to? The other stuff's been shrinking. But the big one is obviously foodstuffs. Chocolate bars, there's less of them. You can go through loads of them. And what I don't understand is that with all of this shrinkflation happening in foods, why am I not any thinner? It makes how is that possible? I'm buying the food for the same stuff. The food is smaller, and somehow I'm the same size.
Yep. Yeah. Are your shirts shrinking as well?
No, I wish. So yeah, no, we need to look into that before we get too excited about inflation. There's this story, speaking of which, there's plans for GPs to offer weight loss jabs. I don't like the fact that it's called Wegovy. Nice. Does anyone else hate the name? It doesn't sound like a weight loss drug, does it? Wegovy. The stupidest name. It sounds vaguely political, like this is Michael Gove. Yeah. Like, I don't know. They've made an app based on Michael Gove, and it would be called Wegovy. But it should be called, Fat Lossatron, or, if it was, they should make it, this drug, they should make it in edible form, because, if there's one thing we know the people are good at. So, none of this injecting yourself business. And they could make, like they do in Amsterdam. They do the cookies, which have the drugs. You could do cookies, which have weight loss drugs, and you'd call them wafer biscuits.
Oh, I get an alert on my phone.
The only pun I can think of today. Your phone goes off when there's a pun.
Did you just hear a joke? That's what my phone just says.
It's not even sure, is it?
Yeah.
Waif. Makes it more like a waif, if anything.
When you say it a second time, that has the impact.
Yeah, now it lands. There it is. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Firstly, I'm really annoyed by the fact that a weight loss drug wasn't available when I cared about my weight. It would have been good to be thinner in my 20s when I could have done something with it. What's the point now? If I get thin now, I just have to buy more clothes. And a bloke in his 40s should not be buying clothes. There are no shops that I can do this in. I go into one of those trendy ones with the low lighting. With my eyesight at my age, I can't see shit. You walk into Abercrombie and go like, oh, is there a power cut? Do I need to call someone? Like, oh, can I help you, sir? I don't think you can unless you can get your flashlight on your phone.
Abercrombie is your stylish store to go to?
I don't know of other dark shops. The Superdry one feels quite dark as well, but I don't really know if that's just my eyes. Top Man just don't do things in my size at all anymore. That's fine. We've parted ways. We're aware. This is the embarrassing thing. Whenever I turn up to do the telly stuff and they mic you up and you have to open the jacket and you just show off the label. And someone said the other day, like, "Oh, I didn't know Burton's were still going." All right, shut your face. CNA, jog on, mate. So anyway.
I don't even. Top Man's around anymore.
Is it not? No, I think it is.
No. I don't.
I think Burton's and Dorothy Perkins were the same company, I think, and they both went under.
Oh, yeah, Dorothy Perkins.
Yeah, I don't shop there either. They don't have my size. Keep trying. But here's why. I don't care about my size now, but it would be better to get an injection rather than go to the gym, because I don't know if you saw this video this week. This is the best reason to never go to the gym. Let's roll the tape. And there she is doing a bit of running and. Yoink! So, there's a lesson there somewhere.
Oof. She didn't have the emergency cord.
So look at it again. You meant to strap on like when you're climbing a building.
It's the face. When her face hits, that's the part.
That's not her face, Eric. That's... Oh, I see what you mean. It might be grinning at you, but it's not a face. Oh.
Was there sound with that? Because I don't hear the sound.
Yeah, it's just her. I think she's filming her watching it back. You can just hear her laughing at the bit where she falls down. Let's have a look again. So you can see, going for a little jog, and then this is bad enough, isn't it? You think, oh, and that's the moment where you think. My day is taking a turn for the worse. And then as we watch the rest of it... How can you
work out in a thong? I mean, that cannot be comfortable.
If you're not careful, if you keep doing that week in, week out for months, you'll end up basically just being like a chin, a neck, and then just two long legs. It'll have worked its way up. As I play the rest of the video, just watch the woman who comes to help and then realizes this is some shit I don't want to be involved in. Right? You see the woman in the top corner go, "Oh my God, are you a..." Oh yeah.
They teach you that in first aid class.
You can attend.
The first rule of first aid is to not go into a situation that is unsafe for you or your person.
Yeah. There's something very unsafe.
Do not put yourself at risk. And that's what that woman did.
Don't do mouth to mouth there. You might get that wrong. Blow her up like a balloon. There we go. Oh, and there is another news story, by the way. I just wanted to bring in. Have you got more to do before I bring on? Because we could swap them up.
I have nothing else to talk about in my life.
Right. I just spotted this one before I came into the studio to record. Male masturbation could increase chances of having offspring. That's good news for single men everywhere. If you were thinking, I'm never going to find someone, how can I have kids? It turns out that. And if there's one thing you're pretty good at, maybe that. I've not read the whole story. I'm just, taking it from the headline.
I think that the key is set a goal. And if you get caught by your partner, just say you're preparing yourself for parenthood.
Yeah, just, we're trying for kids. I thought I'd do a couple of extra tries.
Yeah, exactly. Getting the production up. It's like the war production. Like we're running out of missiles because of the war in Ukraine. We just got to knock more out.
Yeah, just fire a few into some tissues. That helps us. Not quite sure if this metaphor
fully works.
It's about
ramping up production. So I would assume that if, you're the scientist here. Like if you want to have like sperm that is, a lot of sperm that are there and viable, you need more. And the way to create more is to operate the machinery more so that everything is,
Well,
happening?
I don't have a full story that we can scan through here, but we can read the story. Masturbation could increase male primates as well. I can't, chances of having offspring, according to new research. Yeah, research. Let's just think about that. Someone, this is research. Can I get a grant for it? You dirty people. But by the sounds of it, they weren't just pleasuring themselves. They were pleasuring primates. And that's why I'm banned from Twycross. The act of self-pleasuring may help with a successful fertilization by increasing arousal before sex. I see what we're saying here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you get caught, just say you're preparing for the...
Yeah.
It's like, you don't just do a marathon. Like, you don't just do... You have to build up to it.
Yeah.
Couch to 5K.
Yeah, and someone sat on the couch. Yeah, they say it's good to break a sweat.
Watching something in 4K, getting ready for the 5K.
Well, there we
It's
go.
your actual partner. 4K, increasing production. 5K, a new McElroy.
But isn't that just saying you're more likely to have kids because you've turned yourself on thinking about something else? Like self-pleasure with all of the wonders of the internet available to you, and then just, depending on where you finish, you stand a better chance of getting pregnant.
Yeah. But nobody wants to think about what their parents were thinking about when they were conceived.
Yep, that's true. Yep, thank you for that.
I mean, do you really want to... What was on Dad's mind?
No, I'm glad. I think we're all glad that we don't have to think that. So that's it. We're up to date with all the news.
There we go. Well, that's good. Anything coming up over the next week before we do this again?
Yes. So Friday morning, I'm on Radio 5 Live as a guest reviewing some news. So that's fun. Still churning out the podcast. In fact, if you get the episode that goes out on Wednesday, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, the latest one but the one that will be available now as you watch this, there's a news story about a bloke who spent 93 days underwater in like a high pressure chamber thing, and it's made him younger. So he's got, like, in all the measurable ways, he's got more stem cells. The telomeres to do with his DNA are longer, which means that's a sign of being younger. His blood pressure, his cholesterol, all of these things, all of the things that measure your age, other than the number of years you've been alive. That one is not changed. It's a shame, isn't it? It's really the one that counts when it comes to filling in forms. But in all the other ways, he's younger. So what do I do with this medical breakthrough? I do my version of Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. Of course I do. So if you want to hear me singing with a questionable accent, but I think you get away with it in that song, have a listen.
There we go. Well, that's exciting. I'll be downstairs at the King's Head in London on Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
So
Good
if you fancy some comedy, come down there. It's a great gig.
A set or MCing? What you on an awful night or just doing it?
I'm the last act on.
Ooh.
I'm not allowed to say headliner because the club doesn't have headliners there. If you say that, you get in trouble. All the acts are the same.
Nice.
Except for the one who's last, which is me.
Yeah.
In the final slot.
On Saturday night, I'll be reviewing the news on the television, actually. I don't have a gig on Saturday.
Oh.
I shall be...
Yeah.
And Sunday night as well, by the look of it.
Oh.
But I don't have a gig on Friday night, so if anyone's got one, do let me know. If it all pulls out, I'm available on Friday night, by the look of it.
There you go. Available for hire.
Children's parties.
God.
I know. Could you imagine? There are loads of gigs for parents who take along their babies these days, and one of the people who runs one of them has said, "Oh, do you want to come and do it? Because you've got loads of jokes about having kids." I'm like, I think they might be exactly the wrong audience for my story about all of the tearing during the birth. I think, you know what I mean? The people who would relate to the material might not relate to it in the way that comedy gigs should go.
It'd be great if in the middle of that set, in front of that audience, went, "Who's with me?"
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Well, I think that's enough problem solved for this week. We'll be back next Tuesday, if not the Tuesday after that.
Or the Wednesday, by the look of things. You never know.
Oh, yeah, it's Wednesday. Forgot what day it was. Did we send a tweet to tell people yesterday that we're not on?
No, I was busy. I was doing a gig.
Oops.
Oh
well. So we're not on to. We weren't on yesterday.
No one messaged. No one was irate with the fact that we weren't performing. So,
oops. Target audience. Oh well. We should do a live one, just for old time's sake.
Yeah. No,
do you remember how?
Yeah, we've kind of got the technology. I think it would be fun, especially if we did one of these where we don't have lots of material prepped and we just do like chatting.
Prepped.
Chatting, but we're just chatting shit with the comment section.
All written.
Really helps us pad out the show instead of having to just chat to each other, because we know everything. We know what we're going to say. That's the problem. We've been working together so long now that we can actually finish each other's.
Oh yeah. I get you.
Sandwiches. So yeah.
Each other's wanks.
Good for increasing fertility.
Increasing fertility. There we go.
We can't.
Yes.
You might get pregnant. Lovely.
There we go. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, the Ko-fi link is still valid.
Somehow. Yeah.
I signed up for another year. Anyway, just live in hope.
Don't know why, but you can. It's the hope that gets you. If there's one thing I learned from Shawshank, it's the hope that gets you, and Red would be a great running mate.
And if you want to see Steve do a preview of his Edinburgh show coming up soon, you can, especially in Kingston with Rosie Holt, who's, she's worth coming out to see, definitely. And you're on at the same time. So 18th of June, come check out Steve doing an Edinburgh preview at Crack Comedy in Kingston.
Yeah, I've done a few previews
with
now.
Rosie Holt.
The show is all over the place, but by then I'm sure it will be a bit more focused.
Oh,
there's definitely
jokes.
That's
in 11 days. That's 11 days from now.
Crap. Okay, well, it won't be that focused by then, but yeah. Right, better head off. So I think we've done it. Send us messages and stuff, and we'll do it again next time. Till then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.